What if the church already has the answers to the world's deepest political, economic, and migration crises, but we have failed to live them? Beloved, Catholic social teaching is not a theory locked in Vatican documents. It is not a political ideology disguised in religious language. Catholic social teaching is the gospel applied to real life. It is faith walking into the streets, into refugee camps, into broken economies, into divided nations. Today's world is loud with opinions, but silent on principles. We argue about borders, markets, elections, poverty, and power, but we rarely ask a deeper question. What does Christ demand of society? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may never look at politics, economics, migration, or even your daily choices the same way again. Catholic social teaching and action demands constant reflection and principled action, because applying human dignity, subsidiarity, solidarity, and the preferential option for the poor to political, economic, and migration issues is not optional. It is a moral obligation rooted in the gospel itself. This is not about left or right. This is not about capitalism versus socialism. This is about faithfulness to Christ in a wounded world. Human dignity, the non-negotiable foundation. Catholic social teaching begins with one unshakable truth. Every human person is created in the image and likeness of God, not productive humans, not legal humans, not useful humans. Every human. Human dignity does not come from citizenship, wealth, ethnicity, productivity, or political loyalty. It comes from God alone. This truth radically challenges modern political and economic systems. When economies treat people as disposable labor, human dignity is violated. When politics reduces people to statistics or voting blocks, human dignity is violated. When migrants are spoken of as problems rather than persons, human dignity is violated. According to St. John Paul II, man is the primary route that the Church must travel in fulfilling her mission. This statement affirms that every human person possesses inherent dignity that no political, economic, or social system may violate. Catholic theology insists policies must serve people, not people policies. Ask yourself, does this system protect life at all stages? Does it defend the unborn and the undocumented? Does it honor the elderly and the unemployed? Where dignity is ignored, the Church must speak, even when it is uncomfortable. Solidarity. We are responsible for one another. Solidarity is not sentimentality. It is not charity alone. Solidarity is the firm conviction that we belong to one human family. St. John Paul II taught that solidarity means recognizing that the suffering of others is not someone else's problem. Solidarity is not a feeling of vague compassion, but firm and persevering determination to commit oneself to the common good. Here, solidarity is presented as a moral responsibility rooted in justice and love. In a globalized world, distance no longer excuses indifference. When one nation prospers by exploiting another, solidarity is broken. When corporations profit while workers starve, solidarity is broken. When refugees drown while borders debate, solidarity is broken. Catholic social teaching confronts modern individualism with a radical truth. My salvation is bound up with my neighbor's well-being. Solidarity asks uncomfortable questions. How are our consumption habits connected to global poverty? How do political decisions in one country affect families in another? How does silence become complicity? Solidarity turns faith outward. It refuses a private Christianity. Subsidiarity, power serving, not controlling. Subsidiarity may be the most misunderstood Catholic social principle. It teaches that decisions should be made at the lowest competent level, closest to the people affected, while higher authorities support, not dominate. For St. John, it is an injustice to assign to a greater and higher association what lesser and subordinate organizations can do. This teaching protects human participation, local responsibility, and freedom from oppressive control. Subsidiarity challenges over-centralized governments that suffocate local communities, corporations that override human needs, systems that silence families, parishes, and grassroots organizations. But subsidiarity does not mean abandonment. Higher institutions still have responsibility when lower ones are overwhelmed, especially in crises like poverty, war, or migration. The Church teaches balance. Power must serve the common good, not protect privilege. In a world obsessed with control, subsidiarity restores dignity, participation, and responsibility. Preferential option for the poor, God's direction of attention. This principle does not mean the poor are more holy. It means God listens first to those who suffer most. St. Vincent Paul says, "The poor are our masters, and we are their servants." This radical statement places the poor at the center of Christian moral responsibility. Scripture is clear. God hears the cry of the poor, the widow, the orphan, and the stranger. Catholic social teaching demands that every political, economic, and social decision be evaluated by one question. How does this affect the poorest and most vulnerable? Not after profits, not after elections, not after comfort. First, a society that grows richer while the poor grow poorer has failed morally, no matter how successful it appears. You are not making a gift of your possessions to the poor person. You are handing over to him what is his. St. Ambrose insists that justice, not mere charity, demands care for the poor. The preferential option for the poor exposes a dangerous illusion. Economic growth without justice is not progress. It is theft disguised as success. Migration, strangers no more. Migration is not new. Scripture is filled with migrants. Abraham, Moses, Ruth, Mary, Joseph, and even Jesus himself. Catholic social teaching insists on three moral duties: the right of people not to be forced to migrate, the right of nations to regulate borders justly, the obligation to protect human dignity, regardless of legal status. This is where constant reflection is needed. Simplistic answers fail the gospel. The Church rejects both. Open-heartedness without responsibility, security without compassion. Migrants are not numbers. They are families, children, workers, and believers. The question is not only who belongs. The deeper question is how we remain Christian while answering it. From reflection to principled action. Catholic social teaching in action means faith must move beyond statements into choices. Principled action looks like voting with conscience, not tribalism, supporting economic systems that respect workers, defending life consistently, welcoming the stranger without losing prudence, challenging injustice even when it costs comfort. Peace is the tranquility of order. True peace, according to Augustine, arises when justice governs social relationships. The Church does not offer technical solutions, but it offers moral clarity. We are called not to win arguments, but to witness truth. Beloved, Catholic social teaching is not optional reading. It is discipleship lived publicly. The world does not need louder Christians. It needs faithful Christians, formed in conscience, courageous in action, and rooted in love. Human dignity, solidarity, subsidiarity, preferential option for the poor. These are not ideals for saints alone. They are commands for believers today. The saints remind us that Catholic social teaching is not theory. It is holiness lived in society. Their voices call today's believers to form conscience, resist injustice, and transform the world through gospel love. St. Basil calls hoarding a form of injustice, and that common good is always the goal of political authority. This principle grounds Catholic social reflection on governance and law. The question is no longer, do we know Catholic social teaching? The real question is, will we live it? If this message has touched your heart, please like this video so it can reach others who need to hear the truth of Catholic social teaching today. Share your thoughts in the comments. How do you see human dignity, solidarity, or care for the poor playing out in your community? Your reflection may encourage someone else.
Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do unto me. When I was hungry, you gave me to eat. When I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. Now enter into the home of my Father. Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, that you do unto me.